see the expressions on your face, and there were always still things that were missing, you know. And so for me, that was just my area, and it took me to really understand that that meant I had to listen into myself first, you know. And I see this, so like when I work with couples, obviously listening and engaging and communicating is huge. But I think a lot of us don't view ourselves as a couple, right? Because we are our imagination. We are our ability to hear and sense and smell and taste. Like these are all separate parts of ourselves. We are in a relationship with ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, but I think a lot of us don't look at it that way. We look at it as, oh no, I'm one person. Like I'm not in a relationship. And
Absolutely.
Right. And we don't listen. We don't listen to ourselves until it's too late. And then we go, well, in hindsight, like I should have listened to myself.
Oh, good old hindsight.
Yeah. And so one of the ways I say for me to listen in myself was using my imagination. It, to me, is one of the core foundations, because let's say I was feeling unproductive in a day. Like that is a version of myself. How do I talk to him? He's not real, right? As far as you and I, right? He's not literally in this room. So how do I talk to him to understand why is he, procrastinating? Why is he putting off these things? And that's where imagination comes in, right? We think of it in, I say, a childlike manner where we go, oh, we're playing, cops and robbers, like that. I guess I don't know if we play that anymore, but like as a kid, like that was a big game. You would pick up a stick and you'd be like, this is a gun. You pick up another stick and this is a sword. There's that type of imagination, which gives us creativity and freedom to see things not as what they are, but what we want them to be. But then there's the other side of imagination where we get to go inside and let me create this version of me that I can actually talk to, And that kind of goes what we did the last time we met, of that part of ourselves sitting at that table as if we just met an old friend. This is very much the continuation of that, but we get to be specific. Is it our stressed out self? Is it our non-productive self? Is it our self that we go, oh, we can't focus? And when we really, to me, I guess, tune into that part of our mind, we identify the triggers and the patterns that allow us to then go, okay, I don't mind being this way, or go, hey, we're going to make a change.
Yeah. And, it's like, I would love to talk a bit more about listening in, because I do find that I know for me, it's taken years and years of practice and development and having a really strong interest in wanting to do it and learn more about it. And I notice, of course, that we're all on different parts of our paths. We've all been programmed in different ways, and so to just tell one person to listen in might mean something to another one person that it means different to another, of course, and then of course be more accessible to someone than someone else. So I just wanted to, for the very disruptive, busy mind, one that is really hard to crack and really hard to kind of change or anything like that. There was one suggestion that I heard the other day, actually, from Sharon. And then I heard it again a few more times from some other like podcasts, which was, let's see here. If you have thoughts that are going on and on and on, you can say, I wonder what the next thought will be. And this tends to be a good, like, disruptive breaking of that kind of habit and pattern. And I think that part of it has to do with, that's just a really easy thing to ask and say. And maybe you have some ideas of why that works, but I wanted to also suggest that once you get to another spot in your practice, you can break it with some other things, which says, but I love you anyway, or but I care about you, or some other kind of way to switch it around. But apparently to just say, I wonder what the next thought will be, is a helpful way to halt the that incessant kind of thinking that can really hurt us. And then from there, all of a sudden, I think it kind of shocks the thinking and the mind and the brain. And then you might be able to add in some other imaginations, affirmations, listening, journeying, visioning. I mean, there's just so endless routes, right? Do you have an idea of why that works?
Yep. So the technical term is a pattern interrupt, right? Mm-hmm. And so this is one where I could think of, like, I had a client once who was sitting in my office and he's like, Pete, I'm going to have a full-blown panic attack. And I go, awesome, let's do it. And he was like, what? I'm like, let's have it. And all of a sudden he couldn't make it happen, right? Because once we kind of, I say, try and predict, right, the next step, we can't then actually follow through on it, if that makes a weird sense. So like when we have like these wild thoughts and you go, oh, I wonder what my next one's going to be, you're interrupting that thought pattern. And then that's how you can introduce other things. So when we think about it in like hypnosis form, if you ever like YouTube the handshake induction, right? It's a great pattern interrupt, because you'll see someone reaching for that handshake, and a normal response is you grab their hand, you shake it. And when it gets interrupted by you grabbing their wrist, the mind goes, what? I don't know what's coming next. That it kind of shuts down for a second, and you can introduce something new. And when we do that with our own thoughts, whereas, I think of like the what if people, right? When they go, well, what if this happens, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and you go, well, what will happen next? And they kind of go, oh, well, I don't know. You're interrupting that whole chain of thought to then veer off somewhere else.
So what are some, like, let's just maybe list off a couple like pattern disruptors. There's, I wonder what my next thought will be.
Yep.
What if that does, what would happen next?
Yep. If it's something where it's the what if in a negative way, you can literally go, what good will come from this? Because you're breaking that bad thought pattern into a good one. So you're kind of halting it, going, wait, something good can come from this? We do it naturally, right? How many of us go, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop? That is a pattern interrupt, but in a less than positive way, right? Where it's allowing these good thoughts come in, and we're like, no, we got to break that thought pattern. What are the bad things that are going to happen? When is the other shoe going to drop? And so we can do it in so many ways. I think a good way to look at it is, what thought can we have that doesn't go with the thoughts we're currently having?
Right.
And so, like, let's say it's, I use my friend Rob as a really good example. When he's exercising, right, you can see it go on in his head. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're sweating, right? He goes hard, and you can see him. He puts his head down, and he's having that internal conversation of like, well, what's going to be like the good things when we make it an hour? What are going to be good things if we make it 45 minutes? All of a sudden he's interrupting that pattern of these negative thoughts of, you're tired, you're weak, you're sore, you're this, you're that. He goes, no, but what about the good things? Oh, we're going to feel good. We're going to be proud of ourselves. We're going to have confidence, right? And he goes, yeah. And you can see him, he stands back up and he's like back at it all over again.
That reminds me of, someone had told me once, when you're trying to bicycle up a hill, it's like, oh, this is hard. And you're doing this, opposed to like, and instead of like, I'm going up, we're in an upward motion, we're doing it, each step we're doing it. And, it does really change. And I'll use that too, for like sometimes for working out, or definitely for like bike rides. And you can just, that it's visceral. The difference is so obvious.
Yeah. it's one where like I think of like weightlifters. They don't. The average person will go, oh, I'm going to do 10 reps, and they count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? A weightlifter, a serious one, won't count that way. He'll go, I'm just going to do one more, one more, one more, one more. And that's it. It's just one more. And that's such a different thing because, and I've seen it where someone will count and they'll get to 8 or 9 and they're struggling. But when you go, no, just one more, they could do twice as many.
Yeah, definitely. That's such a little tips and tricks for the brain, Do we want to get into a guided meditation because we have a hard stop today?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. All right.
So this is one where everyone can get comfy. This is one where, again, we get to meet that just a part of ourselves that maybe we've been, I don't want to say ignoring, but not giving the credit they deserve. So as we all just get nice and comfy, make sure that you're in a safe place, not driving, not operating heavy machinery, and get nice and comfy. Take that nice deep breath in, and then just slowly exhale. And I just want you to feel the air moving in and out of your lungs. See, with every breath, just allow yourself to relax deeper and deeper. Maybe just begin to feel yourself becoming heavier and heavier, more and more relaxed with each and every breath. Maybe you can notice your arms getting heavy. Maybe you notice one feels heavier than the other. And you get to imagine yourself moving into a really peaceful place, whether it's a beach or a forest or just any place that brings you peace. And wherever this is, begin to hear the sounds, the smells of the air, the colors. So you let this peaceful place wash over you. Allow it to calm your mind. So you get to fully immerse yourself into this tranquil, peaceful place. You get to acknowledge any of those busy thoughts as they enter your mind, just like you get to observe clouds passing in the sky. They're there, then they drift away. Letting go of each thought, bringing back onto this peaceful moment. See, when you feel this peaceful, this calm, as you feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper with every exhale, notice how your mind can be calm and your body at peace. Here we get to control, to understand, to feel things. And for now, I just want you to imagine that peace, that peaceful side of you, as if they're walking up. So you get to have a picture to their face. You get to have a smile maybe on them and yourself. You get to see how they move to walk up to you. And see wherever they are, wherever you are. Maybe they sit down next to you or they join you on a walk. And you get to talk to them. See, maybe you've been missing peace so much in your life. And you get to ask them, where have you been? How do I get it so you want to come around more often? What's been distracting you lately? And you get to come at them with this understanding. See, maybe it's understanding and listening to the words they're saying. Maybe it's the look on their face. Or maybe it's the energy that they share with you. Like they need something. Words of encouragement, a hug, a new place to reside in your body. So they can be with you during the entire day, weeks, months. See, maybe they feel like you've been focused so much on the other things like stress and worry that they felt like you didn't have time for them. Or maybe they feel like a priority in your life and they're like, oh man, we've just been waiting for your phone call and I'm so glad we were able to meet up. See, I want you just to take a few moments to talk to peace, to fully listen, not just with your ears, but with your eyes, your soul, your energy. See, when you can kind of show peace that he gets to be an important part of your life through those life events, you get to come on back, slowly wiggling your fingers and your toes, getting ready to open your eyes, feeling refreshed, clear-minded, and at peace. But take all the time you need to have that conversation with peace so they feel more welcome and part of your life than ever before. Now.
Awesome. That was a great one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's always so funny, like what shows up. And, it really did take a long time for me to just accept what comes and be able to play with that, with the imagination. So I imagine it can be difficult for other people too. It doesn't make sense. You're waiting for something that does make sense. You're trying to change it willfully with your mind. But, I think that the important thing is to really practice allowing whatever comes, no matter what it is, and to just welcome it with no shame, with no judgment, with no like expectations, premeditated needs or desires. And that's really where the work is. I mean, you can all day long, like, try to create something for yourself from your consciousness, but like, that's not this work. And also as a reminder that, the points of this is to connect in and reach out to that motor, that engine that has learned things and has created what you do and how you do things. Like, you think you're who you are, but you're actually who you haven't met yet. That is what's dictating you and running you. And so that's what this work, I think, is to find a way to meet what's driving you opposed to what has been created. It's something like that.
Yeah. It's one, again, like when you mention like don't edit the image as they pop up. I think a really good example, my piece, as weird as it sounds, is the Marshmallow Puff Man from Ghostbusters.
I love that.
Like that's what it's, this clumsy waddling, like, puffy feeling, right? Now I can be like, oh, I don't like that. I want it to be, I don't know, a lion. But to my mind, a lion doesn't represent that piece. That Marshmallow Man does. And when we can just accept that, going, it doesn't have to make sense consciously. We can just enjoy that walk we were having and him going, hey, like, I feel like you've been, again, like for me, it was very much, I feel like you've been focusing on all these different stressors in your life that you didn't have time for me. Mm. And I had to be like, no, like, you're really important. Like, you're one of the most important people in my family. Like, come with me. And it took that walk for him to be like, okay, all right. And we had that conversation, that tough conversation of him going, I'm not important, for me to recognize it.
That's so deep, for peace to say, I'm not around because you don't have time for me and I'm not important. And then to reintegrate that and just be like, actually, you are really important and you are part of the family and you're very welcome.
Yeah, right. And I had to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for ever making him feel that way. you know, and but it comes to show, like, even people like me, one, crazy things come up, and two, they're very meaningful, even in a short period of time. You know,
Right.
we don't have to have these long, I say, hour-long sessions to get real meaningful change. You know, but I will say what comes next is, what do I do when I say, no, you're really important? Do I really show him he's important by really inviting him into my life? Or do I just go, yeah, you're important. Yeah, they go here, but I'm not going to pay any attention to you from now on, right? So what we do next shows how important they really are.
You mean in like your waking life or in the vision, or both?
In both, right?
Yeah.
So like in my waking life, like let's say I'm going home, and again, there's these stressors and there's this and there's that. Do I go, hey, Peace, I want you to come with me on this, right? Help me deal with the stressors. Or do I just go, I can't deal with you right now, Peace. I got to focus on the stressor. Because that will show him whether, if I really meant he's important, or is it kind of like a child where you go, yeah, that's a great picture. I'll put it on the fridge, right? And you don't really mean it,
Right. Well, also one of the tools I've used that I really enjoy is giving it another job. So it's like, hey, Peace, I'm curious if if you'd like to be part of when there is a stressor. Like, do you have another job? Do you have another characteristic, or what's the word? Like a great gift, that I don't know about, that you would like to be part of this. And then you might find that, in Marshmallow Man Peace's like off time, he's like a bouncer or something, or he's in law school right now and maybe can actually help with some negotiation. You never knew that Peace was a negotiator too, or what have you. So I've been really enjoying that as well, is to say, like, when I have time for you, like, I'd love to spend time with you. And when I'm doing something else, you're welcome. What do you think? How do you think you'd like to participate? And that's been a fun dialogue too. Nice. Well, thank you as always. Thank you for everyone who participated and listened and reach out with any questions. And I think we're just going to continue for a while on, ways to really work on that disruptive mind, and ways to disrupt it and support ourselves and imagination. So until next time, have a great next couple weeks. And thank you, Pete. And thanks, everyone. Ciao.